Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this gearbox cover off. What I have done is I put both of my shifters in neutral. The reason I'm doing that now, I want the gearbox in neutral, and these handles give you a lot of nice leverage to move them. Once you take this open, and we'll see once we get in here, it's very difficult to move those in and out of gear and all that. I also disconnected back here. You've got two wires. One of them is for what we have the plow light back there, and the other one is our two side fender lights here. So we unhook that, and this tube will come off as we loosen this up. We will just kind of break these all loose here. Oops. I was able to find the gaskets, thankfully, for the sides here. It took quite a search to get them, but we did find them, and so we have those to replace once we get this thing off. Whoops. Take these out. Now this housing is aluminum, so we got to kind of be careful with it. We'll go ahead and remove our wiring harness. Let's set it over here. Yep. Let's just go ahead and lay our bolts down hither. Now, during the restoration process, I'm thinking there wasn't any torque information on this, so I went ahead and used my torque wrench, set it at different intervals to see roughly what the torque setting was. I'm thinking it was 20 pounds. I wrote it down, so I'll have to look that up, but I'm thinking it was only like 20 pounds. Dipstick out. It's about halfway into the safe range, so it is a little low. Let's pause for station identification. We got to remove these bolts coming in from the back. Yeah, there's I think 5 of them. They come through and screw into there. So, yeah, I forgot all about them bolts being in there. Oh, ain't gonna come out. Ain't gonna come off of there with the bolts stuck in there, is it? That's why you want to be gentle when you start breaking these things loose. Because it's possible there may be a hidden bolt in there. Or 5. Or 5 bolts hidden in there. In this case, joint on there and our extension. Let's see if we can't. Got that one out. That one out. Boy. There again, the one you can't get the ratchet on. Hell, it won't come loose. Damn. I tell you, these things. Oh yeah. Now it acts like it wants to come out of there, huh? Yeah. Alright, and we lift our cover off. Yeah, let's set it over here. It kind of hit. Here is the 6-speed gearbox. Right down here. That's all looking pretty good. You can see our oil down in there. The band brake, now that is a new one. Well, it's got 280 hours on it. And we're going to check that out and see. I mean, everything looks pretty decent in there, really. We'll go ahead and get this stuff cleaned up and then go on to the next point. Welcome back. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna remove our clutch cover here, and this is just the top part of it here. That's actually a inspection door there, or window. But one thing we have is our clutch pedal is attached to this cover, so we have to remove part of this linkage so that we can get this off. And one thing we got to do, this is our band brake apparatus here that activates the band brake when the clutch pedal is applied. So we're going to remove that, and we have to remove it from back here because there's not enough room to remove this one up here and slide it off. And we just have a couple of pins in here. That we will remove. Drop that down. Very good. And something else we have, as we look down here, this bolt right here. Now this is the adjustment for the clutch. You can tighten the clutch or loosen the clutch depending on how it needs to go. We're going to loosen it so that the pressure is off of it and we can actually remove the pedal. And that is done with a 9/16 wrench and a lot of turns. A ratchet would be much better on this, but that's all right. There we see our pedal dropping down. And of course we'll readjust all this once we put the system back together. And that's it. So now this is free, and we'll have to get a snap ring to take that, pliers to take that off. What we have right here, we got a snap ring on here. We'll take that off, and this will slide off. And then, so we will see if we can get this circlip off here, like so. Now you want to be careful, those things will take off on you. So it didn't. And then the pedal, oop. Will slide off, just like so. Put that back on, we'll set our pedal over here. And I would say that we put our pin back in here. It's just nice to keep all this stuff together because, you know, you get to the reassembly part and you're digging around looking for stuff and you can't find it. That way it all stays together where we can find it. Put that clip on there. All right, so next step, we're going to loosen up our bolts. And we'll do that when we come back. All right, so we've got bolts on here. And we have a series of them around the bottom. These are 9/16. A couple of them up here at the top, and one on the side here that's a bolt as well. So we'll go ahead and just crack these loose down here. Up here. These here, now these are 5/8. The ones around the base there are 9/16. This is a 5/8 with a 11/16 nut on it, holding that together. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of rain. Oh, that's familiar. That happened to us on the original time, didn't it? No big deal other than you can't hardly hear yourself think when that gets to raining really bad. Don't want that to fall down in there. A little thunder too. Yeah, thunder off in the distance. All right, we're gonna pop this thing loose here. There we go. don't want to do is get a bunch of dirt off this gasket into my reservoir. So I think it's free there. We can pull that off there. That's kind of a chunk there, that one is. This is our clutch system in here. Ooh, thunder. As we see, the clutch carrier. It seems in pretty good shape. And if we look down in here, we do have some oil in here. That is probably coming from the gearbox side. You see there's oil right down there. And it's oily up in there. It doesn't appear to be oil on the actual clutch itself. But we'll be able to tell once we get in there and do what we need to do to it. Very good.